Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time we're going to be doing a fill. So the first thing that I'm doing is I'm going in with a pair of nippers to remove her bling. This set has been on for 2 weeks, so as you can see, a lot of her bling stayed on really good, or all of her bling actually stayed on really good. And for that I used my Mia Secret gel resin. But again, I'm just going in with a pair of nippers to remove the bling, and after that I'm gonna go in with an extra coarse drill bit. I know that I used to use the coarse one all the time, but recently when I purchased a new one, I ended up getting the extra coarse one just because it's a lot more coarse, which means that it's going to help with removing that gel polish and the glitter a lot faster. As you can see, we do have the encapsulated glitter on a lot of the nails on this set, so I'm going to be filing that away. At first I was going to just go ahead and leave it on there since we were doing gel polish over it, but I'm going to go ahead and take it off. So you will see me struggle a little bit, but it just takes a little bit more work and having to do a lot more filing. And this is why I do a layer of acrylic whenever I'm doing encapsulated glitter. That way, whenever I have to come back and file all of that encapsulated glitter off, there will always be acrylic underneath that glitter. That way we don't have to do a new set. If she wanted that glitter off, we can just file it off. But again, this is an extra coarse drill bit, and I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. But we're gonna go ahead and just finish doing this on all of the nails, and I will be back. Alrighty, so once we finish removing all of that gel polish and glitter, we're going in with a cuticle pusher, and I'm just using my Tammy Taylor Peel and Stick cuticle pusher, and we're just pushing back those cuticles. And after that, we're gonna go in with our sanding band. This is a 180 sanding band, and we're just removing the shine from the natural nail. Remember, we're not filing to thin the nails out at all. We're literally just removing the shine. Our body produces oils, and a lot of those oils are on our nails, so we're just getting rid of that shiny layer, because if not, we will get lifting. You want to make sure that you don't use anything more coarse than a 180 sanding band, because you will damage your client's natural nails. So again, this is a 180 sanding band, and we're removing the shine from the natural nail. And after this, we're going to go ahead and dust the nails off, and then we're going to apply the primer, and we're going to start with the acrylic application. Alright, Alrighty, so now I'm just going to go ahead and dust the nails off, and then I'm going to apply the primer. As always, I use my OPI Bondex. I apply that on the natural nail, making sure that I don't get it on the skin, because if not, it will cause burning. And then after that, we're going to go in with our acrylics. So for that, I'm using my Mia Secret acrylic system in the color pink, and I'm using my Alpha brush in a number 8. As you guys know, I just love their brushes, and I am going to be doing a review on one of their new brushes, which is actually still an Alpha number 8, but I believe they did some updates to them. So I'm going to be reviewing those really soon. But again, my Mia Secret acrylic system, my Alpha brush, and then I'm also using my monomer warmer. The reason why I have to use a monomer warmer is because right now that it's cold outside, it causes my monomer to be cold, and your monomer does have to be at room temperature. So if you notice that your monomer or your acrylic is acting up whenever you get a bead, if it starts to crystallize, which means it's going to be like ashy looking, and if you have problems with laying it down really smoothly, it is because, or that's because your monomer is too cold. So that's why I use the monomer warmer, because again, your monomer does have to be at room temperature for it to lay down how it's supposed to be. But anyways, I am going to be applying a little bit more acrylic on a lot of the nails, just because, as you guys seen, we did file them down really thin. So basically it's like we're doing the acrylic all over again. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So as you can see, some nails, which were the ones that didn't have glitter on, we're just going to do a regular fill-in. So I picked up my bead, placed it closer to the cuticle area, brushing it down towards the tip. And since they are really long, you want to make sure that you look at the nail from different angles to make sure that you have a nice stress area, because again, since they are longer, you need to have a lot more product on the nail to keep the nails from breaking. But it's important to always look at your nail from different angles, whether it's the top, the sides, to look at the apex, because that's really the most important. And also you want to make sure that they're not just super thin, because they will break off easily. So just add acrylic as needed. That's why I don't apply a lot of product all at once. I kind of just add it where I need it. You don't want to just add acrylic everywhere, because if not, at the end you are going to have to do a lot of filing. So make sure that you pay attention to what you're doing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's always going to be the same process, but again, a lot of the time you might have to switch it up a little bit depending on each nail, because say one time you picked up like a really big ball and you place it on the nail and you have, you know, the right amount of acrylic, you have a good apex and a good thickness, then you might not have to do the second and third and fourth bead. That one bead might be enough. So it's going to be different for really every nail depending on how much product you pick up. But we're going to go ahead and finish off the fill, and then we're going to proceed to the next step. Alrighty, so I finished applying the acrylic. So now we're going to go in and reshape the nails. And for that, I'm using a 100 nail file. And remember, this is a step that you do not want to skip. This is what's going to give you your perfect shape. So even though she already has that stiletto and coffin shape that she wants, her edges will be rough, or even from her wearing her nails for 2 weeks already, it kind of takes away from your shape. Like your edges might be a little bit rounded and not as squared as you want them. So you do have to go back and reshape the nails really good. So again, this is a 100 nail file, and we are just reshaping those nails. Alrighty, so now we're just going in with a drill bit, and this is actually a medium drill bit. The reason why I'm using a medium one is because honestly I feel like this one is not as coarse as my fine one for some reason. So I just been using this one, and this one is actually by McCart, so I'll be sure to leave the link in the description. But as always, when we're filing the acrylic, we always focus on that cuticle area first, going back and forth until you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way we don't get any lifting, and then also just filing the rest of the nail to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. And the only way, I know I've had people asking me like, how do you get the nails so smooth? The only way to get the nails smooth is by doing a lot of filing if you need to. Especially if you're a beginner, you are going to have to do a lot of filing if you don't have like if your nails are bumpy. Just file and keep filing until the nail looks nice and smooth. And of course, look at the nail from the sides to be able to see if you need to file, you know, in a specific area. If you have any bumps or lumps, just keep filing, and then also making sure that you buff the nails really good. But for me, for the most part, I just have to file around the cuticle area, and then I still file the rest of the nail to kind of blend everything together, and I pretty much have, you know, a smooth nail without having to file any at all. But you do have to seal the cuticle area, because if not, you will get lifting. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off, and then I'll be back. Alrighty, so after I finish filing, I'm going to go in with a buffer, and this is just to get rid of any of those scratches left from our e-file or our hand file. So you want to make sure that you buff the nails really good, and then as you can see, I always run my thumb over the top of the nail to check if it's nice and smooth. If not, I go in and just buff a little bit more, and you will be able to feel any of those scratches, or if it's just rough, you will feel it. So that's why I run my thumb over the top of the nail, check it, and then buff some more if I need to. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this off. After that, I'm gonna I'm gonna dust the nails off and then wipe them off with an alcohol wipe, or you can have your client go wash their hands, whatever works for you best. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go in with the polish, and I am using my all-time favorite red polish, which is in the color Dragonfire by La Palm. As you guys know, my local nail supply store stopped selling them, so I haven't been able to get a hold of one. I know I can order one online, but I just have not been feeling like it. But I'm just trying to get every little single drop of that Dragonfire gel polish that I can out of that bottle. So this is definitely going to be the last set that I do with this color for now until I get a new one. But again, this is in the color Dragonfire by La Palm, and we're gonna of course do 2 coats, and then some fingers I am gonna leave, actually the stiletto nails I'm gonna leave plain because we're gonna just apply some bling over those. But after we finish doing this first coat, we're gonna go ahead and cure them for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other hand. Okay, so I'm literally like tilting my bottle over to try to get those last drops of this gel polish. But anyways, we're going ahead and doing the second coat on each nail, and then we're also curing for 30 seconds. And then the little brush that I'm using to clean around the cuticle area is a French brush by Alpha Brush in the number 6, I believe, and I'll be sure to leave the link in the description as well as the promo code. And I promise you guys, like, their brushes are definitely the best. They work so good for me, and I highly recommend them. Alrighty, so after I finish doing 2 coats of the Dragon Fire, we're going to go ahead and apply some bling. So I'm going to be using some big red pieces, and then I'm also going to be using some smaller red rhinestones, and then also some gold caviar. So I'm using my Mia Secret gel resin, and I'm using my wax pencil, and then again these are just tiny gold caviar balls or beads or whatever you want to call them, but I'm just doing them like randomly, just placing them whatever comes to mind. And then same thing for the caviar, and as you can see, the caviar is like super tiny, so you do have to make sure that you're careful when you're using these. And I'm just using my wax pencil to move them around. Alrighty, so I finished doing the bling on the 2 stiletto nails, which was the pinky and the index finger. And now I'm going in with the IBD gel top coat, and we're going to go ahead and apply that on all of these nails and let them cure for 60 seconds while I work on the other hand. Again, this is the IBD gel top coat, and I'll leave the link in the description, but I get this one from Amazon. Alrighty, so same thing for the other hand. We're going to go ahead and apply the Mia Secret Gel Resin. With the wax pencil, we're going to pick up those bigger pieces, place them on the nail, and then we're going to go in and apply some caviar as well. Alrighty, y'all, so here is the final look. That red is literally just flawless. It's so bright and pretty, and I just love this set. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNail32, and I'll see you guys next time.